It's halftime in Denver, but we have action in Indianapolis, Orlando, and Seattle coming right up.
CBS Sports presents Pennzoil at the Half, sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Welcome once again to Pennzoil at the Half, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Clark Kellogg. Our halftime score 49-31. Arkansas, two up-tempo teams. Only one of them has been up.
Well, Arkansas is octane 93. Siena is at octane 87. That's the difference.
Siena, the third highest scoring team in the land. Hasn't happened for them so far. Right now in Orlando, the Louisville Cardinals with a battle on their hands from Creighton. Let's join Gus Johnson and Dan Bonner.
46-42 Louisville. They've led by as many as 13, however, Creighton making a comeback right now.
Creighton doing a little bit better job executing on offense. Now that is a tough shot right there.
Got his own rebound. And Walker can't put it home. Buford though, jump stop, elevates, and knocks it down.
Gus, right at the moment, Creighton just out scrapping Louisville for these loose balls.
Rodney Buford, 5 of 18. He averages 19 a game, but has struggled with his shot today. But Creighton right in this game, they trail by a deuce.
Gus, you really wonder sometimes how a game can turn around so completely. That crisp, efficient Louisville offense just hasn't existed in the last 10 minutes or so of this game.
Louisville led by 8 at halftime. Skip pass. Johnson, rise and fire, air ball. Karlakanovas with the rebound. Creighton with a chance to tie or take the lead with a 3. Here's Buford, off his foot, into the hands of Walker. Walker forced it up.
Gus, and that's the perfect description. Walker really did force it up, and now Louisville's got a fast break.
Tony Williams, he's fouled from behind.
And Rodney.
And it's the 4th foul on Walker. And a look at the South region here in Orlando. Maryland winning the day over Valpo easily. They play the winner of this game, a 7-10 game. St. John Sanford and Indiana George Washington coming up next.
Ben Walker goes out with his 4th personal foul, and that really was a forced shot, Gus, and he didn't need to take it because Rodney Buford was all alone on the wing, and Walker never saw it.
And Tony Williams gets the first one to go. He has 18 points. 9 in the first half and 9 right now in the second half of play for Tony Williams, the junior from Louisville. Second one no good. Rebounded by Johnson, Eric Johnson. A new shot clock for Louisville.
Zone again for Creighton, Gus. They've had some success with the zone defense in the second half.
Edward flashes across the lane, looks backside. Murray cut off by Karlakanovas. 10 to shoot. Murray hops in the lane. Williams forced it up. Rebounded by Donnie Johnson.
Gus, that was great reaction to the ball by the Creighton defense.
Karlakanovas kicks it out. Landon for the tie. Karlakanovas with the rebound. And a 22nd timeout called by Creighton.
Dana Altman encouraging his troops, Gus. He can see their struggles on offense. Just wants to make sure they get a good look at the basket here.
Don't forget, coming up tonight, here are the game 3s. Murray State, Ohio State. Sanford against St. John's, New Mexico and Missouri, and Penn taking on Florida. So the Creighton Blue Jays 21-8 on the season, 11-7 in the Missouri Valley Conference. They won their league record 5th MVC tournament, beating Evansville 70-61. This is their 10th NCAA appearance where they have an 8-10 record. And they came into this game red hot, winners of 6 straight. Down 47-44 right now.
Let's see if they try to punch the ball inside, Gus, where they have had some success.
Sears down the lane, and he got it!
That is There's a big-time drive to the basket by Sears, who hasn't really looked for his offense much today, Gus.
First bucket of the game for Sears. Edward trapped in the corner. Murray. Louisville, 2 points in the last 11 minutes. 2 field goals, rather, in the last 11 minutes.
Gus, Creighton has been able to make Louisville play the half-court game, and Louisville not nearly as effective playing that way as they are running up and down.
7 on the shot clock. Murray throws it up. Rebounded by Buford. Buford, his offensive game has not been on, but he's really been owning the boards. He has 5, and he walks it up the floor himself.
Well, Gus, Creighton has crept closer and closer and closer, but they haven't been able to tie or take the lead just yet. Brandon backs it out into the corner. Boy, that's a nice job by Maben. Brandon had the side cleared for him, and he was going to the basket.
And clear it out for him again. 6 to go. Brandon, a lot of dribbling. Forced it up. Off the glass, no good. And it's rebounded by Maben.
Can't come much closer than that to getting the ball to go down,
my
Gus.
goodness.
Now Denny Crum wants timeout.
3 minutes, 52 seconds to go in the second half of play. We've got a 1-point game in Orlando.
Gonzaga goes back to the zone, which they do. They will shadow Lewis.
Chris Bill. What a pass inside to Lewis and a foul.
And there's a little bit of a bounce in the step of this Golden Gopher team. Some guys are tired. Lewis and Prisbilla with 4 personal fouls. The big smile. Look at the big guy. Sleight of hand. Good foul by Santangelo, not to allow Lewis to convert.
Quincy Lewis. He emerged last year during that great run in the NIT from Little Rock, Arkansas, an environmental studies major. Led the Big Ten in season in scoring in the regular season. Won the scoring title. Top 10 in the Big Ten, in fact, John, and field goal, 3-point percentage, where he was #1. Free throws, rebounding, steals, and everything.
Tom Haskins thought he should have been player of the year. Mateen Cleaves won it. Scooney Penn won it by the writers. Mateen Cleaves won it by the coaches.
6-point game. And Gonzaga led early in the second half by 21 points.
0 of 5 from the 3-point line this second half by Gonzaga after that great first half when they were 8 of 12.
And hit their first 6. This is the closest since 22-17.
Minnesota much more solid this second half of staying on the floor, not allowing the penetration in the kick.
Hall down the lane to the rack with a gorgeous looking finger roll.
Second big hoop that Hall has hit. He hit the 3-pointer earlier that kept the cushion in double figures.
Reichart.
What a story.
19 points. Unbelievable. 7 minutes to play in the second half.
Only a freshman comfort level is different because he averaged about 30 a game in high school. So he still may have a little bit of that in him.
From the missed 3. Another rebound by Reichart. He is
Online.
And welcome back. The game summary. Louisville shooting 48%, but the points in the paint being dominated by the Creighton Blue Jays.
Gus, Creighton really has had good luck getting the ball inside, and their struggles on offense all day long. They haven't been able to hit from the outside. We mentioned they get 30% of their points on the year from beyond the 3-point arc, but they've been forced to go inside today.
And in the last 12 minutes, Creighton has outscored Louisville 19-7 to pull within 1 point. 3:40 to go.
Creighton stays in the zone defense.
The winner takes on Maryland. Nate Johnson. Backside, Murray. And the ball stolen away by Buford.
Gus, Buford has really struggled on the offensive end, but he's got 3 or 4 steals in the game. He's got 5 or 6 rebounds. He has continued to help Creighton.
They get 7 rebounds for Buford.
Oh, they almost lost the ball there, Gus. He held the ball out. The Louisville guys have been paying attention. They could have taken it.
Creighton with the chance to take the lead right here. Walker down the lane. Got it. And the foul.
Gus, I'll tell you what, the last couple of trips down the court, Dana Altman's kids have tried some clear-outs. The last time for Brandon, this time for Walker. We've talked about Walker's great strength, and he uses that strength right here to get his head and shoulders past and then power the ball up to the basket.
So far, and just made the most difficult of his attempts this second half. Look at the spin move, the ability to pull the ball back, all made because he's a great releaser of the ball with his wrist as a shooter.
Now let's check out the CBS Sports Line stat of the game. Fromm had 4 of 4 shooting above the arc for 16 points in the first half, and there is his third second half point. 19 for the game. For complete tournament coverage, go to cbs.sportsline.com.
Well, you wonder if the Bulldogs have withheld the run by this Golden Gopher team.
22nd timeout taken by Minnesota.
And a good 22nd by Clem Haskins.
Sometimes you expend, John, so much energy just getting back in the game that when it comes down to times like this, there's just nothing left.
And that's when a coach has to find out when to call the times, when to have the timeouts, give his players some needed rest on that side.
And Emmy Award winner John Larroquette returns to television as Royal Pain, an innkeeper with an attitude. Don't miss the series premiere of Pain. It's coming up Monday after Raymond, right here on America's Address, CBS. Had a good contingent flying from the Twin Cities and from outstate Minnesota to watch the Gophers in this first-round game, but none of them expected the controversy that would swirl and embrace this team once they arrived. Simmons with a move and a try. Oh, and a jam! Buckle up, baby!
Wow! A little bit of power.
63-56 Gonzaga.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Cadillac Escalade, Pizza Hut, Conseco, and by Hertz.
Welcome back, everyone. The game in Denver between Siena and Arkansas. They're just underway now in the second half. The Razorbacks with a 49-31 score. We will keep you updated on that one, but the one in Orlando is just too good to leave. The Blue Jays enjoying their first lead of the day with 3 minutes to play in the second half. Let's join Gus Johnson and Dan Bonner.
3:03 to go in the second half of play. Creighton on top, 49-47. They've trailed Louisville by as many as 13 points, but have staged a great comeback here in the second half of play.
Gus, one of the things that Denny Crum has seen happen to his team is Creighton was able to start scoring, and when they started scoring, they could set their pressure, and they've done a great job with their pressure disrupting the Louisville attack.
And Murray misses the free throw. Karlakanovas with the rebound.
And the last couple of possessions, what we've seen from Creighton is simply spreading the court, trying to get some clear-outs for Walker or Brandon.
Ryan Sears to Karlakanovas. Came off the bench in the first half and had 7 quick points. Walker slips. Cameron Murray the other way off the glass, but he's fouled with 2:37 to go in the second half of play. And once again, the game reset.
Gus, the interesting thing, both of the teams with 9 fouls will be in the double bonus on the next foul for each team. We expected this to be a very high-scoring game, and it started out that way, Gus, but the offense has disappeared.
First free throw for Murray is good. Both of these teams average 77 points per game.
We're not getting anywhere close to that.
Exactly. 49-48. Murray with the chance to tie it on the free throw. And he does.
And now on the made free throw, Louisville's able to set its press.
Walker. And he walks it over the half-court line. Looking for Buford. Walker has 11 points tonight, or today.
A lot of dribbling going on there, Gus. Not a lot of passing right at the moment. When one guy handles the ball so much, everybody else tends to stand around.
Pull up three for Buford. And it goes! Holy mackerel! From downtown. 13 points. Buford, 5 of 18.
Gus, that is his first three-point basket of the day.
2:11 to go in the second half of play. Blue Jays up 52-49.
We need him.
What a ball game we have had, Kevin. Gonzaga, the way they shot it the first half, it would not have mattered if the Golden Gophers would have been at full strength, or any team. Bulldogs were that outstanding. Second half, to change it a little bit, the guts, the determination, and this man's team has crawled and climbed their way back in.
At the free throw line will be John Awney, because Nathaniel cannot come in. So Awney, a walk-on redshirt from Maple Grove, Minnesota, who turned down an opportunity to attend West Point to play Big Ten hoops, is at the line, and fans on the throw, and it's loose, and Simmons had it, and it's off Gonzaga.
Well, Awney checked in, had only attempted 2 free throws on the year, made one of them. Nathaniel comes back in the ballgame.
I'm going to say this for the Gophers. They have shown a pretty unbelievable resolve with this game, with literally every odd stacked against them.
I think most people in this arena thought this game was over with a 21-point lead. And Gonzaga working on also.
Onstead way off. Santangelo fetches the ball. It's 63-56 Gonzaga. 4.5 left in this game. Small Minnesota lineup. Priscilla has fouled out. A 3, Hall the miss. Rebound vacuumed in by Lewis. He's got 6 of them. Onstead.
And Lewis has to get more involved on the offensive end. More touches. He can't simply stand.
Onstead going for 2, and again, his last 2 shots have been way off the mark.
Way off the mark. And he may be wearing down physically. Logged most of the minutes at point guard with Clark out of the ballgame.
Gophers have got to be running on fumes right now, especially Lewis, who has not sat down the entire game. Nielsen, Santangelo, picked up by Onstead. In and over Lewis, short, rebounded by Rycroft. Outlet to Onstead. They've got numbers, a 3-on-2. Oh my goodness, what a jam put down by Simmons.
The rebound and the break. Simmons, the second of his big jams.
2 right-handed tomahawks that have rocked the rim. Another turnover by Gonzaga. Lewis the other way. In for a miss. Tapped in by Rycroft. And a foul called on Minnesota.
And Quincy Lewis cannot believe he missed point blank. But take a look at Terrence Simmons, a transfer from LSU, with the flush. Boy, Quincy Lewis cannot believe he missed the layup on the one end.
He
Both ends. Pull-up jumper for 3, no good. And a whistle and foul inside against Cameron Murray.
And that is an excellent call. Even though Murray had the inside position, that was a long rebound. And Murray is going to grab onto Walker. Denny Crum shaking his head. Right at the top of your screen, Murray now comes in, gets position set up, watch the rebound, kick out long, and Murray grabs Walker and knocks him down. That is an excellent call by the official. Walker, 61% free throw shooter.
And the first is good. Walker, a sophomore from Oak Creek, Wisconsin. And he put more pressure on himself in the first half of the season to become a bigger part of the offense. He's so athletic, the coaches agreed with him. Inside, easy basket for Maber. 1:20 to go in the second half. 54-51 and a foul. And Buford and company head into the front court to shoot free throws. It'll be Walker. And a look at the bracket in the South region here in Orlando. The winner of this game takes on Maryland, who beat Valpo today. St. John's, Stanford, and Indiana, George Washington coming up later.
Gus Walker goes to the line. He just made the 2 big free throws.
And this Creighton team trailed by as many as 13 points in the first half of play, but somehow managed to get everybody involved, including Buford, who had a terrible first half shooting. And now they lead it. Maben elevates, got it back, and lays it in.
Gus, the last 2 possessions, Louisville been able to get easy baskets by just driving through the zone.
3-point game. Karlakanovas, diagonal pass to Buford. And they want to milk some clock here.
Yes, they want to milk some clock, but it's only a 1-possession game. They want to run it down and score. Now Louisville doesn't want to foul.
Karlakanovas facing Walker. 9 to shoot, down the lane, dumps it off. Buford, short. And a foul inside. Good call. Sanders pushed off. Yes, he did.
Swenson, who had such an effective first half in the low post, Gus, gets excellent position. Buford has not had a very good day shooting the ball, but Swenson doing what he needs to do, getting that inside position.
Florida and Penn, North Carolina and Weber State. I think that Florida-Penn game.
I'm with you.
Gonna be
I was
good
thinking
one.
the same thing. Fran Dunphy's team winning the Ivy League against Princeton.
College transfer from Halliday, North Dakota.
With 30 seconds left in the game, Gus, he makes these 2. He can make it difficult.
And he makes the first.
Now
2-possession game, barring a 4-point play.
That's a good-looking free throw for this situation.
Not bad. Your knees start to wobble a little bit. Second one up and in. 58-53.
Now Creighton doesn't want to foul, but they'd like to make Louisville run as much time off the clock as possible before a shot. You don't need a 3 here.
Louisville needs to get it going. And an offensive foul. That may do it with 18 seconds to go.
Gus, we've talked about turnovers. That's the 11th turnover for Louisville in the second half.
Possibly the first upset of the day. Louisville, a number 7 seed, Creighton number 10, and a foul in the backcourt. Sears will find his spot on the line.
Gus, Ryan Sears has been such an important part of this Creighton team this year. Great play before to recognize that Louisville was going to try to penetrate again, step in and draw the charge, and he's been the guy who had to bear the brunt of the Louisville pressure today, and all in all, he's done a real fine job.
And Sears, first free throw is good. This man, the only guard in Creighton school history to have more steals than turnovers 2 straight years. Second free throw good as well. The Blue Jays in good shape with 16 remaining. Maben down the lane, dunks it with 2 hands.
Yes, there's still time. It's a 2-possession game.
And Sears fouled quickly with 10.3 to go. 5-point lead. And the Chevrolet most valuable players of the game. Rodney Buford, 13 points, 8 rebounds, 5 steals. Complete game for him, although he did struggle on the offensive end. And Tony Williams for Louisville. First free throw good for Sears. And the score was tied at 49 with 2 minutes and 37 seconds left. And Buford hit the big 3-pointer. And Creighton has been up since. Williams shot good with 4.7 to go. And with 4.7 to go here in the second half, we step away. 62-58.
Here it is 2:23 to play in the game. 65-59 Gonzaga. Outside a three. No good by Fromm. Picked up by Minnesota. Great ball handling by Simmons. He'll try. Simmons has been spectacular. 6 points, 3 in a row. All his scoring in the second half.
And the Golden Gophers will not go away. Bulldogs have made some silly fouls, taken some rush shots. Good defense by Lewis.
Picked up by Armstead. They've got numbers. Armstead outside. Simmons for three. Rebound Reichart. Held and fouled inside by Gonzaga. 5 seconds remaining there. Creighton on top of Louisville.
Terrence Simmons off the bench this afternoon. 6 points. They've all been in a spectacular fashion. Taking it to the hoop that time. Defense not paying attention from the weak side.
Terrence Simmons and Dusty Reichart, who's at the free throw line right now, have been wonderful stories for the Golden Gophers today. Players that, John, you thought before the game that would have to emerge, and sure enough, they have.
Well, there are always opportunities presented to a player if someone else is out. As they say, one man's misfortune, another man's fortune. And Mr. Reichart, 22 points on the afternoon. Golden Gophers only 7 of 12 from the foul line.
Nailed it. A 2-point game with 1:43 to play.
Continue on a full court pressure. Quick to the basketball. They're very athletic. They have forced the Bulldogs into a hurry-up situation.
Here comes
the game reset. No timeouts remaining for Louisville, and they're down 62-58. The story in this game: Ben Walker with 12 second half points for Creighton. Rodney Buford with 9 second half points. And the Blue Jays come back from 13 down from half court. And that'll do it. No time remaining on the clock. No time on the clock. And the officials,
You play to the horn, Gus.
they play to the horn, and that's it.
Well, the horn doesn't work.
The horn does not work. The final score: Creighton comes back after being down by 13 on the back of Ben Walker as well as Rodney Buford. Walker with 12 second half points, Buford their best player with 9, and they win it 62-58, and they'll take on Maryland in the next round. Our final score: Creighton wins it 62-58. And the bracket in the South region in Orlando: Creighton, Maryland will meet in the next round. St. John, Sanford, Indiana, George Washington coming up next. Coming up, Greg Gumbel in New York.
So Gonzaga over Minnesota. The final score there, 70-63. The Golden Gophers with a tough charge from behind, but Gonzaga holding on to win and to advance.
Gonzaga led by 21 early in the second half. The Gophers came back to within 2, 65-63. And now Casey
It's a fan.
to lead it 71-63. A three by Simmons. Rijkaard tries to fly in with the tip. Calvary the rebound. Gonzaga the other way, and a foul is called on Kevin Nathaniel of Minnesota.
Well, terrific ball game, Kevin, for Gonzaga. But give the Minnesota Golden Gophers a lot of credit. Players that had not played many minutes at all for this ball club with everybody out. And they hung in there. This ball game seemed to be over at the 18-minute mark in this second half, and I think all the fans kind of sat back in Key Arena. Clem Haskins did an outstanding job rotating players in, but the performances that they came up with.
Member of their team.
And Cliff said, you just take care of the important aspect in your life. Don't worry a thing about the tournament. We'll all get together on Sunday or Monday whenever you can get back. So very comforting words from the coach as well.
Charlton Parker, the free throw shooter, a walk-on, who's appeared in just 9 games this season.
1 minute.
Out of bounds. It'll be Winthrop's ball. Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Doc Robinson for Auburn. Great floor leadership again today. 14 points, 4 assists, 6 of 9 shooting. Robbie Waldrop, tough to pick a player in all honesty for Winthrop today. No one on the Winthrop team has scored more than 6 points. Waldrop came in, hit a couple of threes, and he's the Chevrolet most valuable player for Winthrop.
Now, you don't know who's going to show up at this point in the season in this setup, and it's unfortunate because they're a better team than they played, and you have to admire the wonderful year they've had.
Garbage time now. McGadney with 2 more. He has 4. He's capable of filling it up. He had 17 points in a game at Georgia this year. That was when Porter was out of the lineup. They went 3-0 when Porter was suspended for a violation of team rules. Porter wins at Georgia and Alabama.
Nice anticipation.
And Rob Wallace missed a 3. Collins scored the last hoop for Winthrop. Winthrop's season's going to end at 21-8. But it has been a season that has really ignited
Minnesota. Although hobbled and although shorthanded, Gonzaga looks to advance. And short by Lewis, rebounded by Calvary. The final seconds tick off, and the Bulldogs of Gonzaga will make history. This will be their first NCAA tournament win, and a capacity crowd is on their feet.
Great win, Kevin. The city of Seattle has probably adopted Gonzaga. Not too far away, 300 miles from Spokane. Good ball game. They did what they had to do to advance.
Winthrop's first trip to the NCAA tournament ends with an 80-41 loss to the #1 seed in the South, Auburn. Auburn advances to take on Oklahoma State on Saturday. The Tigers now 28-3. We'll join Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg in our CBS studio right after this.
Welcome back, everyone, as we continue along the road to the Final Four along with Clark Kellogg. I'm Greg Gumbel. Let's run down some scores now for you. Gonzaga over the Minnesota Golden Gophers, 75-63. With all the turmoil surrounding the Minnesota program, does this really surprise you, Clark?
Not too much, but Minnesota put up a valiant effort, down 21 in the second half, got to within 2, but then Gonzaga made big shots down the stretch.
Meanwhile, in Orlando, the Creighton Blue Jays come back to knock off Louisville 62-58, and they move on to play Maryland. The Terps earlier today, 82-60 winners over Valparaiso. Valparaiso, the Cinderella story of a year ago, not this time around. They fall 82-60. The Auburn Tigers will advance to play Oklahoma State with an 80-41 win over Winthrop. Oklahoma State reaches this point by beating Syracuse 69-61. And also in the first round in the West, it was Arkansas over Siena. It still is Arkansas over Siena, 74-53 as they approach the halfway point in the second half. We will take you live there in just a bit. And also in Denver earlier today, the Iowa Hawkeyes over UAB. The final there was 77-64. We'll take a timeout and we will continue with more from New York in just a moment. First round action in the West. McNichol Sports Arena in Denver. 13 seed Siena trails Arkansas. 9.5 minutes to play. Let's join Ian Eagle and Jim Spinarco.
9:28 to play, second half. Arkansas with the huge lead on Siena. Two teams with similar styles, but the Razorbacks using that style to their advantage. Arkansas, it's been basically a rout from the beginning.
Absolutely, and it started defensively. I was very much impressed with the way Arkansas just came out, and they said to themselves, this Siena team can go up and down the floor, they can shoot the long-range shot. Arkansas took them right out of it quickly.
Take a look at the West region here in Denver. Earlier today, Iowa, close game, beat UAB to advance on to meet the survivor of this Arkansas-Siena matchup. And coming up, the 8-9 game, Missouri and New Mexico. Tip approximately 7:50 Eastern time, and later on the finale, top-seeded UConn against Texas San Antonio. On the interior, ball knocked around. Reed was trying to control it, and Arkansas will hold on to it, leading by 24. Siena Saints came in here as an upstart team, hoping to make some waves in the NCAA tournament. Their first appearance in 10 years, but it was not to be. Within the first 2 or 3 minutes, you could tell that Siena was not going to be able to keep up with the pace that Arkansas had set forth.
Well, they just have never seen the relentless type pressure, especially on the perimeter.
TJ Cleveland stepped on the sideline, so Arkansas turns it over. Look at our game summary with Arkansas in front by 18. They have shot the ball extremely well. It's down to 49%, but all in all, this has been a huge effort from the Arkansas Razorbacks, making a statement here in the first round, Jim. I think a lot of people were under the impression that Siena might be able to give the Razorbacks a game here. That hasn't been the case.
No, not when Arkansas can shoot the ball at about 50% from the three-point line, and the defense once again continually up-tempo, forcing opportunities for them.
Inside, Derek Hood untouched as he put it through the slam dunk, and Hood again comes up limping. He went down earlier this half with what appeared to be a back injury, and Derek Hood now trying to walk it off following that jam. He's 5 for 5 from the field, 12 points for Hood, a senior.
He also has a problem with tendonitis in the knees also, so he's a real rugged guy. Plays through his injuries.
Nolan Richardson told us he's as hard a worker as Coach Richardson has ever had.
He's banged up and bruised up right now, though.
20-point game. Freeney feeding Faison, who could not finish. Fight for the loose ball. Jason Jennings, who had just checked into the game, was going at it with Osinski out on the baseline, and a jump ball called, and Siena will hold on to it thanks to the arrow.
It occurred also in the first half when Siena did have a couple of short-range opportunities as they throw the ball away on the inbounds. They never really converted those close ones, and we've seen it again here in the second half where they've had some opportunities, but frustrating for Paul Ewing.
22 turnovers for the Siena Saints. This is not what they visualized when they heard about the matchup with Arkansas. They thought they could run with them. Into the post, Jennings. Blocked away by Faison from the backside.
Jennings with that catch in the blocks. They don't go to him too often down low on the blocks. Nice read, though, by Faison.
Jennings, the first 7-footer at Arkansas since 1985, and Mike Carpenter. It really doesn't fit into their style of play. As Faison off the turnover, lob upstairs. Freeney was looking to get it back to Faison, but Siena gives it right back.
Yeah, they're an up-tempo team that pushes the ball down the floor, but I think on 2-on-1s when you're down 20 points, you'd rather have results than the Hollywood Showman style.
79-59, Razorbacks. Bradley on a cross-court feed for Reed. Senior leadership is very strong in this Arkansas team. Jeffries off the mark. He's one of the freshmen. Freeney pushing the pace. And a whistle stops play.
I think that was away from the ball, actually.
Corey Osinski was called on the foul, and you're correct. It was away from the action. And
got
Kareem Reed is going to the free throw line.
right side of the screen, number 42, pushing off a little bit with Reed. Not too much, though, really. Just depends on where the official's looking at the time.
Osinski, who's had a nice year for this Siena club, he'll be back, and one good thing for Paul Hewitt, head coach of the Saints, if he comes back as the head man, is that he does have most of his players returning to a team that was 25-5 this year, 13-5 in the MAC. Second free throw for Reed.
So you would expect with those comments that they would come back very strongly next year, continue at least in the MAC where they left off this year.
But this is a sobering loss.
Yeah, this is a wake-up call.
Because I got the sense, I don't know if you did, Jim, that Siena really believed they could play with Arkansas before this game.
Yeah, I felt that way yesterday in speaking to a bunch of them in terms of they weren't intimidated coming in here, that's for sure, but I think they got a little taken out of their sets, especially at the offensive end.
Bradley, open look at a three. Long rebound, Osinski. Freeney leaning in as he banks it through. And once again, the Arkansas lead is down to 20.
And once again, the patience at the offensive end. Just settling to use some of the clock each trip down now. They've been taking 15 to 20.
Greg Gumbel in New York, Arkansas with a 90-74 lead. We will keep you posted on how this one winds down, but we will get you out to Seattle, to Key Arena for the start of Alcorn State, the number 15 seed against the second seeded Stanford Cardinal, after this word from your local station.
Welcome back to the West Region from the Key Arena in Seattle, Washington, as the 15th seed Alcorn State Braves take on last year's Final Four participant, second seed Stanford at 25-6. Already today, Gonzaga has beaten Big Ten Minnesota in a game where Gonzaga led by 21. Golden Gophers came back to within 2. And here we are for our second game today. Kevin Harlan alongside John Sunvold. Stanford, John, returns every starter from last year's Final Four team.
Well, what a solid team and a solid year they've had. They've been terrific. And one of the guys that will lead them this afternoon is a guy they commonly refer to as the Mad Dog, Mark Madsen, the junior. One of the best power players in all of college basketball. Physical, strong, likes to bang, but can also run the floor. He's really the emotional leader that this ball club needs when they need something to happen.
Alcorn State from the Southwestern Athletic Conference comes in with a record of 23-6, and this is a track meet team. They run it baseline to baseline.
Like to push it, like to score, and they've got a little guy that likes to do the whole thing for him. When he gets it in his hands, Ruben Stiff will push it up the floor. Only 5'11", and I think that's stretching it about an inch and a half. This guy is dynamite. He will go after you, take it to the hoop, likes to draw it, and then kick it out to his teammates.
Davey Whitney was lured out of retirement, and now he is in his 23rd season. He is truly the feel-good story of this NCAA tournament. And here will be the lineups: Wheaton, Cameron, Harris, Harper, and Stiff. For Alcorn State, he is not still, he is stiff. And for the Stanford Ball Club, Manson, Sauer, Young, Arthur Lee, who is a blur, and Weems. Our referees today, as you take a look at Mike Montgomery, the head coach of Stanford University in his 13th year, 6 NCAA tournament appearances. Tim Higgins, Tim Hutchinson, and Joe Pescatelli. A group. Higgins, name, and a guy that has a tremendous amount of NCAA tournament experience. The Braves and the Cardinal, and here we go from Seattle.
Well, the matchup for Alcorn State is, can they handle the power and the strength of this Stanford Cardinal team?
Tim Young. Sauer is picked up by Cameron. And here comes Arthur Lee, hounded by Harris. Into Madsen. the only junior among the senior starters.
And what a tough shot to get started. Harper came defensively to make the double team, and Madsen hits it over the top. Alcorn State wants this to be a track meet. They want rebounds to kick it out. They do not want to run a half-court offense against this Stanford solid ball club.
Edric Wheaton outside to Harris. This is Stiff. Inside finding Edric Wheaton. Rebounded by the 7-2 Young. Weems the other way and in a hurry. Arthur Lee for three.
Good start for Lee. Terrific shooter. The quarterback of this club sets the tempo. Put it in his hands. He runs the offense, makes them. Cardinals get the shots they need in their half-court sets.
5-0 Stanford. Terrence Cameron, junior from Port Gibson, Mississippi, and a three taken here by Wheaton is no good.
And most of the night.
Monday.
Arkansas enthusiasts, young and old, enjoying themselves here today in Denver. It's because Arkansas has the 92-78 lead on Siena with 1:39 to play in the second half.
A well-balanced attack by Arkansas with 5 guys in double figures, a guy with 9, one with 8, one with 7.
Reed the lob. Jeffries the finish on the slam dunk.
Reed does put it there on the rim, doesn't he? He makes it very easy for guys to finish plays with the way he delivers the basketball.
16 points for Chris Jeffries and a steal. Just over 1 minute left. Siena was hoping to be this year's Cinderella. It has not turned out that way for the Saints. Reed on a kick out. Bradley thought about it and backs it out with 15 on the timer. 59 seconds on the game clock. Bradley made his move to the rim and just lost it on the way up.
Not a whole lot bigger on that trip.
Kareem Reed with 10 assists here today. Siena as a team with 12. Inside. And Faison gets the bucket.
See, a lot of people will ask the question why, but this is a learning curve for Paul Hewitt. I mean, obviously they're not going to win this game. Some of the people here are booing, but there's a message for his young players.
Timeout Siena. Arkansas 94-80 in front.
Harris, a three, and it's down.
Big hoop by Harris. Now this allows the Braves to get into full court pressure.
Here comes Arthur Lee from Los Angeles, California. A senior, blossomed in last year's NCAA tournament, finding Young, twisting and shooting and hitting it.
Well, perfect from the field so far, this Cardinal team. 5 of 5.
And they lead it by 8, 11-3. Wheaton puts up a three. And picked up by Weems. Sauer again, driving inside. Rebound yanked off by Harris. Picked up by Weems. Sauer in a congested lane and is fouled.
Sauer missed the first attempt, but his active hands knocked the basketball away. Weems came up with it. Sauer got another crack.
One of the co-captains of the team.
Yeah, take a look at the active hands by Sauer. Knocks it away from Harris there, and good pickup. Draws a contact. Solid player.
And they always talk about his court sense and the way he maneuvers on the floor. A 70% free throw shooter and a senior from Pittsburgh.
You know, they came in yesterday very workmanlike. The way they came into practice, very mature ball club. They've been here before, obviously the Final Four a year ago, and they know the things they have to do. One of their top players, Jaron Collins, is out for this afternoon's game because of an ankle sprain.
And his twin brother's already out for the season.
Yeah, Jason got hurt early in the season.
Walter Harper outside to Edric Wheaton. Sauer is all over him. Dixon makes the knockaway, and he denied it down low, and it's out of bounds, and the shot clock is at 13. The hustling Stanford Cardinal.
Yeah, the good denial by Madsen down low. Straight man-to-man defensively.
Harris will inbound, gets it off to Ruben Stiff, a senior from Jackson, Mississippi. Mismatch with Young. Stiff against Madsen.
And look at the help defense.
Madsen the rebound. Here comes Lee. Down the lane. Rebounded inside by Wheaton. Stiff. Off the camera. Saved. Volleyball by Sauer. And Wheaton for three. Buries it from above the arc.
Kevin Stiff is going to be fun to watch this afternoon. He's good off the dribble. Can go either way with the basketball.
How does a quick team affect Stanford?
Well, you know, they've played quick teams. You talk about Arizona and UCLA. They did not play well against